Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Magician with a Microphone podcast. I am your host, Chris Langle of Chris Langle Magic. And guys, this is probably the first week in maybe 2 or 3 weeks we are not talking about wrestling. Strange, I know. It's like, I've actually been thinking about it and I'm like, maybe I should make this into a wrestling podcast, because I like talking about wrestling. It's one of my favorite things in the whole wide world, and I love it, and I want other people to love it, and I want people who love it to be able to listen to somebody else who loves it, and I like to put my ideas and my thoughts out there, and unfortunately, I didn't necessarily advertise and market this as a wrestling podcast, and I like to talk about other things too, and have guests on, which I keep saying I'm going to have guests. I don't know what I'm going to have a guest on, guys. It'll just happen. But I'm not going to be talking about wrestling today. I'm actually going to be venting a couple of things. Now, look, I've had a couple of shitty days the last week or so, so I kind of just want to get things off of my chest. And the shitty things I'm talking about are the fact that I've got the show coming up in 13 days at the Bijou Theater in Bridgeport, Connecticut, 275 Fairfield Avenue, Bridgeport. Tickets are on sale now. And the fact that tickets are on sale and are available online is irking me, because I've legitimately had, and I can count the messages on Messenger, probably 40 people messaging me saying, hey, your ticket link is broken, or hey, can you send me the ticket link? I need to get tickets to your show. And people are giving me the thumbs up, hey, I got the tickets and everything. And I went and saw Will Call on the computer, and there's still only 5 tickets sold. So this audience might suck. It might legitimately be terrible. And I'm prepared for that. I am actually prepared to take tricks out of the show that I know are not going to be able to play to a small audience or to a big audience. And I'm willing to remove them just so I can, have a show for smaller people. I might not even put all my effort into this thing if we don't get a big crowd. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I do not get a big crowd, the next podcast, the Thursday after that, is going to be one hell of a fucking promo. I'll tell you that right now. Because let me tell you something, guys. The fact that there are people who will spend $150 on a pair of sneakers and they won't go out of the way to spend $20 on a ticket to support their friends is absolutely fucking ridiculous. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But guys, it is going to be a great show. It is at the Bijou Theater. The Bijou is a great little 200-seat theater in Bridgeport, right in the center of town. They do everything there. They do movies, they do concerts, they do magic shows, they do comedy events, award ceremonies, school graduations and stuff, receptions. They have a bar in the front. Guys, the Bijou is probably the best venue I have ever worked with. Gary is an absolute pleasure to be associated with. The theater itself couldn't have a better manager, couldn't have a better owner, couldn't have a better staff, because the people that they bring in to work there are great people as well. And let me tell you something, if you're ever interested in getting yourself on a stage for a decent deal, and you want good quality stuff as far as tech and lighting, and I'm talking like high-end shit, definitely hit up the Bijou Theater, 275 Fairfield Avenue, Bridgeport, Connecticut. And by the way, that is not a paid ad. I say all of that out of the kindness of my heart because it's true. The Bijou is the best theater I've worked with. I just wish that we can get a bigger crowd in there, and that's not their fault. That's my fault. Technically, it's the crowd's fault for, not showing the fuck up. Especially during this time, it's the year after the pandemic, and it's the year that everybody wants to get out and do shit, and it's to the point where people are going out and doing shit that they don't even have any interest in just to get out of the house. It's like everybody should be flocking to get tickets to this thing, and they're not. So, to all the people that said that they were going to buy tickets and didn't, fuck you. To the people that are going to eventually buy tickets, thank you for coming, and I hope that you enjoy the show. And, another thing, I could actually say this too. If you do plan on coming and you do not want to buy tickets, I have, I have 4 tickets available. Only 4. Only 4. There was a family that follows me on TikTok, and they bought as a donation to my show. They bought 4 tickets, and because they live all the way out in Arizona, they're like, "Hey, donate these tickets to somebody, a family of 4 or 4 people that just want to come in. They're already paid for." I'm like, "Fuck, that's a great idea." So if you want to donate, like, I'll give your tickets to somebody else. It doesn't make a difference. I mean, anybody will take free tickets as long as it gets them in. It actually helps me out, too. If you want to buy tickets to my show and you can't make it and you just want me to give them away, dude, I'll make sure that the seats are filled. So, I'm excited, though. I'm really excited. I'm working on some new tricks. I'm working on some new stories. I've added a lot to the show that I've already done. I was actually testing some of the tricks that I want to do in the show at the Naugatuck Food Truck Festival that happened a couple of days ago. That was actually a great success. One of the best food truck festivals I had ever done, and I'm not lying when I say that. I've got my list of food truck festivals that I've worked with in the past. This one was absolutely fantastic. For a first time ever doing it, they knew exactly what to do. The only complaint that I had was that they had a touch-a-truck. And the people at the touch-a-truck area were like maybe 100 yards away from the stage. And they had one of their town trucks there and were letting people pull the air horn. So that's all you heard all day was a fucking air horn, and it was annoying as hell. And it got to the point, I turned the microphone on, I pointed one of the speakers towards them, and I started making annoying noises to try to see if they would stop, and they didn't. So they kind of won that battle. But everything else was fantastic. I was so happy with the outcome. I'm so happy with how many people turned out, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to work with them next year. It's going to be a great string of festivals, because I could tell after the success of this one, this is going to go on for years. I can tell you right now, as somebody who has worked with many festivals, I've worked with the hell would be the first annual, you know what I mean? Like the first initial food truck festivals that, they're planning and they're like, yeah, this is going to be one of many, and it ends up being the only one because it sucked. I've performed at festivals like that, and then I've performed for festivals that have been doing it 20 years. I can tell that the Naugatuck Food Truck Festival is going to be going on for like the next 5-10 years. As long as they can keep getting the permits for it, as long as they can keep attracting the crowd like they did, no doubt. So, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun to work with them. Also, and I don't know if I should talk about this yet because the final contract has not been signed, but I have a huge announcement that I am going to be able to make. Literally, that is going to alter my stage shows, my festivals, my close-up shows, my overall availability for probably the end of the year and all of next spring into fall. Again, the contract has not been signed. Nothing is official, so I'm not going to say what it is. But all I'm going to say is that it is something that I have been wanting to do for a very long time and just happened to be at the right place at the right time to be able to put the wheels in motion. And this is something that should have happened a couple of years ago. Actually, 2 years ago, we were working on finalizing something, and then COVID hit. But this is going to be huge for me, and I'm really excited to announce it when the time comes. So if anybody can guess what it is, and if you already know what it is, shut up. Actually, no. I don't really think anybody that I know knows what it is. Come to think of it, no. I think I've only told like 3 or 4 people, and 2 of them were actually in the car with me when I booked it. If you can guess what it is, I will give you a shout out in the next podcast, next Thursday, before the Bijou show. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm really, oh my God. If this can happen for me, we're talking like major game changer for me. We're talking this could push me to the next level. So I am, I don't even know how to fucking describe it. I don't know how to, I don't know how to describe it without giving it away. That's all I can say. You know, I can't wait to be able to announce it. It should be finalized in the next week or so, because I have to actually have talk, you fucking moron, talk. English, words, elementary, my dear Watson. Holy fucking shit, I got ahead of myself right there. I have to have everything finalized by about mid-September. So, yeah. Really excited. So, in the meantime, though, I'm available for events, get-togethers, fundraisers, school events. Now that school is back in session, at least here in Connecticut it is. It started 2 weeks ago, I believe. School, I've already done 2 school events. So, back-to-school events. Fantastic. Let me tell you something, man. I went to the school the other day in Bloomfield. They were doing a back-to-school event. You know, I was working a couple of things there, did a show, and some of the most well-behaved kids I had ever seen in my entire life at this fucking event, dude. I was so impressed. So impressed. It actually gave me hope for humanity, for this new generation. They were polite. They sat down. They waited for them, for me to call on them to come up and do a trick. Nobody rushed the stage. Nobody interrupted me. I took out my cards and my linking rings, and I didn't hear, "Oh, I know how that's done," because I hate that. Yeah, dude, it was great. It was fan-fucking-tastic. I can't believe how well it went. So I would love to work with them again. But, stuff like that I'm really happy that I'm able to do, because, mentally my morale has been shit lately, and, I'm usually, like, where I live with a lot of people, and I can't really talk about my issues, my personal issues with the people I live with, even though they're family. We were always kind of brought up to never really talk about your problems and, like, bundle it up and, like, pack it away and shit, because nobody wants to hear it. So that's, basically how I live my life. But, mentally I've been struggling. My depression is coming back. My fucking anxiety is coming back. I've basically given up on my love life, because let's face it, you can only try to get blood out of a rock for so long before you realize that somebody does not give a fuck about you or your existence and will never acknowledge you. Very long story short, the person that I tried to be with, that I made very clear that I wanted to be with, doesn't talk to me, doesn't contact me, doesn't answer my calls or my texts or anything. I've given her shit. I've made her shit. I've bought food and fucking, gifts and stuff for her birthday, and hell, I painted a guitar for her that I could have sold for $300, but I knew that she would like it, and I know that she had mentioned at one point that she wanted to learn how to play, and I even told her, I was like, I'll teach you how to play. Made her a guitar, haven't heard anything from her fucking since, I'm at the point where it's like, do I try to convince myself that I'm not, like, that bad of a person, or do I have to convince myself that she's not a piece of shit? And she doesn't listen to this, so she's never going to hear this, because God forbid she acknowledges anything I do or anything I say, or even, like, the fact that I exist. Yeah, she knows who she is. So ladies, if you're single and you're looking for somebody who will legitimately ruin your life, because I don't have a regular 9-to-5 job, and I don't have all of the money in the world, like I know, is a major factor in relationships, because let's face it, guys, in this day and age, if you're broke, you ain't worth shit. Doesn't matter how nice you treat a woman. Doesn't matter how nice you act for her in public. Doesn't matter how much you defend her in public, even though people at her old job are talking shit about her, including the old customers and the fucking employees. No matter how much you fucking cater and show that you care and that you're interested, you ain't shit if you don't have at least 10 grand in your account. I learned that the hard way. Either that or I'm just that bad of a fucking person. I'm just that uninteresting. Or maybe I'm that creepy. I don't know. So, I know I got off on a tangent there. What the fuck? Yeah. So, I want to talk really quickly, guys, about the recent events that have happened in the wrestling world. I know that I said that I wasn't going to completely make this a wrestling podcast, which I actually thought about doing, believe it or not. I wanted to make this a wrestling podcast after the first time I started talking about wrestling. Then I realized I can't. I did not advertise this and market this as a wrestling podcast. It's called Magician with a Microphone. That means I could talk about whatever I want. But I also couldn't come up with a cool name for a wrestling-themed podcast. But guys, I already talked about SummerSlam. I saw on AEW that they are teasing Daniel Bryan very, very heavily. Guys, all I'm going to say is if Daniel Bryan shows up at All Out, which is most likely going to happen, along with Adam Cole, from what I understand, Adam Cole left NXT, which, look, at this point, I don't blame him. Have you seen what they're doing at NXT? We'll get into that in a second, because how the fuck do you mess that up, all right? Adam Cole might be going to AEW. Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, and I believe Buddy Murphy all might be going to Impact, which is going to be strange because nobody fucking watches Impact. Awesome Kong retires at NWA, I believe it was called Empower, all-women's pay-per-view event that they did, which, you know what, that was a great, I watched a couple of matches, they were fantastic. And then AEW, again, killing it in the rankings. Telling you guys, I'm telling you, now that NXT is going back to a developmental, fucking what it was years and years ago when it sucked, AEW is going to be the one that's taking over, all right? Because let's face it, Raw is absolute horse trash. SmackDown, has its weeks. NXT was the show. And now they don't want to hire any more indie guys. They don't want to have anybody else coming in, that's less than 290 pounds or 250 pounds and not 6'3", basically what Vince likes, bodybuilders. They don't want small guys anymore. They don't want, guys who have made a name for themselves outside of the WWE. To me, that's going to take away a lot of viewers, especially... Have you seen that fucking logo? That fucking clown college, B.T. Barnum and Bailey fucking... I can make a guitar that looks like that logo. I actually might. Fuck it, why not? I got the colors for it. But guys, they're changing everything up. It's literally the definition of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Shit. NXT is going to start to suck now. I hate to say it. I'm calling it now. I give it another 6 months before NXT gets kicked off of USA Network. Fox is already starting to get fed up with SmackDown because they're not getting the ratings. USA, I'm surprised, kept Raw on after, and now they want to add a 4th hour. Raw is already a pain in the ass to watch with 3 hours. At one point, it was a pain in the ass to watch with 2 hours. Now they want to make it 4? Are you fucking kidding me, Nick Khan? You stupid fuck. Holy fucking shit. 4 hours of Monday Night Raw? God damn, I can take a nap through that. I'll wake up at the first match, or I'll fucking fall asleep at the first match and wake up at the last match, dude. That's longer than the goddamn Avatar movies. Jesus fucking Christ, 4 hours for fucking Monday Night Raw. And it's not like any of the segments on there are any good. They don't allow them to wrestle at their full capacity. They don't have any good fucking characters on there anymore. The storylines suck. Yeah, they've got AJ Styles and Randy Orton and fucking Matt Riddle and, all these other guys, but they don't let them do what they're able to do. And that's the thing that pissed me off the most about them signing so many indie guys. Because one, if you're in NXT, the second that if you're over in NXT, you're going to the main roster. Your call up is you getting buried. It's happened with everybody. Everybody. With the exception of let me think about this. Has anybody really made it from NXT to like the main brand and not gotten fucking buried? Besides the Shield. Which I really wouldn't consider them like NXT because they were like developmental before it became like a big thing. Samoa Joe for a while was doing really good. And then now he's back in NXT. Finn Balor was doing great. And now he's... Yeah. AJ was never on NXT. I feel like he should have been. Ricochet, I guess you could say he's doing all right, but let's face it, he'll never be a WWE champion. Never. Not even Universal. Kevin Owens, I could say, was doing really well. Sami Zayn, not really. Baron Corbin, A majority of the guys that have made it from NXT to the main roster have been shit on and buried, and I hate to say it, but you know what? You kind of see it happening. That's why I'm kind of happy Adam Cole never went to Raw. He was for like 2 weeks, but Karrion Kross is going to be the same thing. They're going to bury him. They're going to make him suck. Look at Dijak and fucking like all the guys from what? Redemption or Rebellion, whatever the fuck it is. Revolution. Retribution. They were all jobbed out. They suck now. Especially Dijak, are you fucking kidding me? I saw Dijak wrestle. Dijak put on one of the best matches against Keith Lee I have ever physically seen in person. And now he's T-Bar. Really? T-Bar? That's what you name a fucking Pixar dog. T-Bar. Yo, T-Bar, come here. Get a treat. And now I guess they're not giving Karrion Kross, whatever the fuck his name is, they're not giving him Scarlett. They don't think she's ready. Which she was half of the fucking reason why he was over. Now you got Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan. Nox and Shotzi, because, for some reason, nobody on the main roster has their full name. Shinsuke Nakamura doesn't anymore. Baron Corbin doesn't anymore. Matt Riddle. Otis, I can understand why they dropped his last name, because nobody could fucking pronounce it anyway. Yeah. Bunch of guys. I don't know. I feel like you should sign with NXT and not have the option to go to Raw or SmackDown. It's like I remember when the Young Bucks, like when they were trying to get Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks to sign, or I think it was Adam Page and the Young Bucks, like right after All Out. No, All In. The original pay-per-view before AEW was a thing. Like Vince was ready to drop $1 million each for them. And give them like a contract where like, hey, if you don't like your storyline, if you don't like, you can have creative control and everything. If you don't like it, in 6 months you can leave. That should be something. Especially for bigger names, like indie names. You should do that. For NXT, absolutely. But unfortunately, WWE is not pro wrestling, as CM Punk put it. AEW is. AEW is killing it right now. Their wrestlers are fucking amazing. The women are some of the best I've ever seen. Britt Baker, holy shit. Chris Starlander, God fucking damn it. And she's cute too. I've never seen her before AEW. Then they also who else did they sign? Fucking just recently they got in one of the major women stars. Sonny Kiss, I think, is a guy. I think. Sonny Kiss is great. Does matches with the women and the men. Fucking awesome. Nyla Rose, fucking great. Could definitely be the next Awesome Kong. Yeah, their women's division is like kicking ass right now. I really like it. And the best part is, they're not fucking scripted. You can actually go out there and call your match in the ring. And that's how they're so good, is because they don't have to go about, like, they don't have fucking Hollywood producers there trying to, like, direct them every single hit, you know? Same thing with the guys. A match is better if it's called in the ring, where you get to improvise and have fun, do what you like to do. Sometimes high-flying moves are good because that just goes to show what kind of skill you have. But at the same time, technical wrestling is fucking amazing. AEW is going to kill WWE one day, man. I'm calling it now. I'm not saying this as an AEW fanboy, because I also like certain things with WWE, but I will continue to say it. AEW is exactly where TNA was fucking 10, 11 years ago, when they were on top of their game, when they had better storylines, better wrestlers, and then Hogan came in and killed it. AEW doesn't have Hogan, guys. He doesn't. He's not in there. They don't have Russo. They don't have Bischoff. They have nobody that can come in there, use their creative control, and kill their business. So, that's something. That's something that they've got going for them right now. Oh, and then Awesome Kong retires. I'm actually really, I'm happy for her. I know that she had other things that she was wanting to do with her life. You know what? Let her retire on her own terms. She retired in the ring with Gail Kim, the one who she got started with. Fantastic. You know, she was very talented. For a big girl, god damn. For somebody who's a lot, you know, who doesn't have a lot to say, she cut a hell of a promo. Her embarrassing 45 seconds in the WWE, we will not talk about that. But I also will say that she was not there long enough for that to affect the amazing career that she had. So we can say that. Let's see, what else? Yeah, I really think that's it as far as pro wrestling goes that I want to talk about this week. Maybe I could I'll catch up with something and maybe we'll have another conversation about it. I do want to get my buddy Ron Zombie, who's an indie wrestler, big. He's a wrestling legend here in New England, a friend of mine. And I want to get him on the podcast so that way he could talk about, like, not like really like a shoot interview, but I've always wanted to know what it's like behind the scenes of, like, indie shows. You know, not WWE, not AEW, not TNA, not WCW, indie shows. Stuff that only attracts 15, 16 fans at a time, maybe 50, 60, maybe, like, in their case, for some shows, 300, 400 people, you know. But I want to know what goes on behind that. I want to know how cool people are, who's the assholes, who aren't, you know. What show planning goes, you know, what goes into that shit. I think it'd be really cool to talk about. So, god damn, we got 3 minutes. We got just about 2 minutes left of this podcast. I'm going to keep it at a half hour. Yeah, I might as well go into the cheap false advertising, or not false advertising, but the cheap self-advertising that I want to do about the Bijou. Guys, the Bijou Theater is located at 275 Fairfield Avenue, Bridgeport, Connecticut. Tickets are online for the show, www.bijoutheaterct.com. It is 13 days away. Today is Thursday. You have another Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Guys, get your tickets online. They might actually not be they might not be available at the door. I might just say fuck it and say, if you didn't get your tickets online, then you're not getting in. Because we need to know all this information, especially for the meet and greet afterwards, which is another $10. So, all ages show, family friendly. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. I really hope I could see you there. Tickets are available. They are $10 for kids 12 and under, $20 for adults, $10 extra for the meet and greet. Parking is available because it's a Sunday. I believe it's free, so I don't even have to worry about that. And like I said, too, if you guys want to donate tickets, buy tickets, just have me donate them to somebody, you can do that, too. Bijou Theater with an R-E at the end of it, CT.com. That is September 12th at 3 o'clock. So not this upcoming Sunday, but next Sunday. Go and check that out. So, guys, I'm Chris Langle with Chris Langle Magic. You were listening to the Magician with a Microphone podcast, and maybe one day I'll get entrance and exit music for this podcast. Until then, I'll talk to you guys next week.